What up, Internet? Welcome back. Sekiro reaches 125,000 concurrent players, fourth most played game on Steam. Which technically I can kind of see that with the whole thing of Devil May Cry and plenty of other games like coming out over the past few weeks. So yeah, I can actually see that, especially with it being like a from software game. You know, Sekiro won't be climbing higher up the Steam ladder. In third place is CS:GO, which has more than 500, or at least 500,000 concurrent players. But is yet more evidence as if it landed X in single player games. Yeah, based on all the single player game stuff, Sekiro looking pretty good. Which technically I kind of just use that as sort of like my introduction to talk about Anthem again. Which technically Anthem will always have these like beginning of the road problems, which is that it's technically has the same problems that Diablo 3 had, like when that game launched, which specifically most of those were just like loot drop rates, obviously absurd, or at least legendary drop rates were absurd. You had to go through like mountains and molehills like just to get some pretty good weapons and whatnot. And the fact like that legendaries would drop for other classes. The Necromancer wasn't out at this point, but basically imagine you playing like a cleric and then you get stuff for a Necromancer. Like, how is that helping me? And even when you get them, like they weren't any better than basic. I mean, like than the basic stuff you get at the time. So really didn't feel like why. So it felt like, why am I even playing this? You know. The difficulty tiers also like didn't make sense when tied to gear progression, because again you can get a very weak legendary and then like it wouldn't say like for doing like a very high-end mission that really didn't help you, or you really didn't need to use that specific item anyway. Also, without drops there is literally no way to make progress. And what does that mean specifically? The game ran on, I mean like little fun fact for everybody, every item, or at least like every item like in a loot-based shooter is based on an RNG like number. Basically it's sort of like playing Dragon Ball Xeno, like if you play Dragon Ball Xenoverse and you do a parallel quest, basically every item in that game, like it has a very specific like percentage for it to drop, right? Which kind of is slowly killing that game, which I think it kind of already did. But the fact that most of their bigger items, or at least the items in which that you wanted, were based on like a 60% to a 70% drop rate, at that point, like you really weren't going to necessarily get the item because it was based on random chance of it hitting like some phantom like little like wheel of fortune and whatnot, which kind of kills like any game that does that, which is why a lot of people say that Borderlands does this thing a little bit better than everybody else. Because again, it's like, what's the point of me even playing the game when like they're not going to even give me the items that I want? Okay, I beat this boss, or at least like I did this mission, I beat this boss in the way that you wanted me to do it, but then you don't want to give me the item for it. Yeah, that's a problem. Like that is a serious problem that needs to be fixed. But going on from that, this is my final one, and yeah, this one's pretty old though. But Platinum Games will no longer be developing Granblue Fantasy, which, you know, going on that, Platinum Games will no longer be doing this. Obviously, Granblue Fantasy will now be go to Side Games, which for the popular role playing game, which Granblue Fantasy is the mobile version of the game. Relink will feature co-op play for up to 4 players. Platinum Games is brand of character action-based combat. I believe it's still going to be in there. The game is bound for PlayStation 4. Going forward, like Side Games will handle 100% of the development. Side Games would like to assure everyone looking forward to the title that we remain committed to delivering the game that meets the expectation of our fan base, that game developers everywhere. While we at Platinum Games have been working with Side Games on this on the co-development for the upcoming console game Granblue Fantasy Relink, we officially announced that our contract on the project has come to an end. Development will still continue, but will be handled solely by Side Games initially. So yeah, like, it's kind of sad that they're not going to be there anymore, but still, kind of moving forward though, it's like, well, I can't really be angry at that, because again, everything about this, they handled most of the good stuff already. So mostly it kind of feels as though that Side Games, like, they don't really got to worry about the combat anymore. They don't got to worry about any of the actual crazy stuff like picking up brand new moves or animations and whatnot. It's just, they just got to finish the initial story, finish like the initial game, like everything else revolving around the gameplay. Like, they got to finish that, and then that's kind of where that they're at. So anything, I kind of like that. But it's like, I kind of like that they left them off like in a very good spot. So hopefully, like, that this game, it does do really well. So I'll leave you guys with that. I'll catch you guys on the next Jongravesshow Show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I had to shotgun this out, so I'll see you next time. Oh, also, if there's any news articles you want me to go ahead and check out, please comment down there in the comment section. I'll see you next time. Out.